Good. So now let's see how you can create coordinated views using Vega-Lite. So this is the chart that we created using D3. Let's try to do something that it's at least similar to it. So I'm going to fork this before I forget. And then I'm going to say that this is going to be my Vega-Lite coordinated views. And basically what I'm going to start with, it's importing Vega-Lite from Vega/Begalite API. And then, pardon my disorganization, but I will just start drawing things in here. So if you want to draw a scatter plot for this, then the only thing you need to do is something like this. You just say, I'm going to create a marked circle, and then you change the encoding, and then you say that you're going to use your X attribute as field Q. But actually, I want to create a scatter plot generator. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call a function that takes X attribute and Y attribute, and that one will generate my scatter plot. I'm going to return something in here later, and then basically this is going to be X attribute and my Y1. So actually, let's say for instance that I want to get an overview in here. So I'm going to create an overview that is going to be a scatter plot with the delay versus the distance. And this is a flights data set that contains delays and distances. So then I create this one and you start seeing that how it starts looking like. And then we can have X, Y. Now we have a scatter plot for that. So the beauty of this is that now if you want to create another one, like let's say for instance, like the detail, we can do something like this. And then instead of drawing directly this, what you can use is not a layer, that is the one that we have been using a lot, but a concat. So if you do that one, then you can pass here overview and detail. And then now you have two charts, okay? So if you want to start customizing them, then you can start saying that this is going to be a width of like the width variable multiplied by 8 divided by 3 or something to make this one smaller. And then use the same one for the height. I don't like recomputing that, but I'm in a rush. So let's do this one as well, and this time multiply times 2. And then that gives us a little bit bigger of a chart, and then the height, it can be the same thing. So now I have a small one and a big one. So now the next step is creating my selection. So you can do that very easily if you know what to use in Begalite. So for that, you create a selection, and in this case, it's an interval because you want it to be a square. And then let's start with that. So, and then what you're going to say is that you need to pass that to whoever is going to be the chart that is going to be handling the brush. In this case, I'm going to say that is going to be my overview. And then I can say that I'm going to select brush. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm assigning this selection to this chart. So just by doing that, then immediately you can start drawing things, and you can actually start using it as well. So, and the beauty of this model that I'm using in here is that this one generates the scatter plot that returns a Vega-Lite mark object. And then inside that, I'm actually applying all of these. So this is very similar to have included mark circle and encoding down here. But then I can also come and say, I want to modify the encoding, but on a different parameter, in this case, the color. And then I'm going to say that it's going to have a color of a still blue. But if the brush is selected, then I am going to select to change the color to be a value of red. So hopefully that's fine, and then you can see everything is selected, and when I start selecting, I get the elements that I want. All right. So if you want then to use that to filter the other one, then you can use the filtering exactly in the same format. So basically what you can do is that there is a transformation that you can do to any Vega-Lite chart, and then you just say in here, hey, I want to filter using that brush. And then with that, you have the basic concept of the chart that we were creating. As you can see, this is an interesting one because it allows you to see that this specific data set has a weird behavior inside here, where in here they look like they're continuous, but actually there are some gaps. For some reason, there's flights that like planes that don't fly like this specific amount that you see in here. So that you can do that in there. If you want this to not include the scale like 0, then you can just pass that here. I think something like this will be the case. And let's do the same one probably in here. So now when I actually select, it's kind of like showing me like the detailed view that I was expecting, like something more like this. Okay, so you can also add, if you want, like tooltips. That's going to be very easy. You just put that in here, tooltip true, and that should give me, maybe with the concat it doesn't work. There we go. At least on this one it works. So there might be a bug with this one, so it's not working. So that's for that. And the other one is that I actually don't like this thing to get initialized like that. So you can change that behavior as well. And then I think the parameter for that is init. And that one establishes what you want on the selection as the initial value. So as you can see in here, they are actually initializing to that specific value. So we can initialize the selection, in this case, to 0, 0. But then you have to specify to which attributes, like in this case to y and x, okay? So if you do that, then be careful because now nothing appears in here. So you have to balance that. Like another way will be to check if this is empty, but actually now that I think about it, I don't know how to check outside Begalite if the visualization, if the selection is empty. So let's leave it like that for the moment. And that's how you create coordinated views in Begalite. This is one way. I actually recommend you taking a look at the Vega-Lite API. If you look here on the data visualization curriculum, this section that is multi-view composition, let me put that in here, it's very, very good. So it explains all of the different ways that you can do that. You can do facets, you can do facets, layers, and also repeat. That allows you to repeat the same chart using different columns, which is quite nice. So this is how you do that in here. In Begalite, as you can see, is way easier than in D3. But if you compare this with the other version, although the other one it's a little bit boogy, but you see that this one has these nice animations that in this moment are really bad, but at least they're there. So if you actually perfect them, then you can achieve like a more specific behavior on that. So hopefully this can help you create your own faceted views on Begalite.